Very good morning, all. Thanks for joining. This is a continuation part of Kubernetes series. So in the Kubernetes series, in the last session, we discussed about what is a Kubernetes, what is a Kubernetes architecture, and as well as how to set up the elastic Kubernetes services in Amazon Web Services. Very in simple steps we created. Okay, the environment also ready, and we have checked that and how to create the pods. Am I right? Okay. So now the same environment, okay, the same environment you can set up in different platforms also. You can set up the platform in Microsoft Azure. You can set up in Google Cloud. Yeah, even you can set up the same kind of Kubernetes architecture in on-prem also. That's an individual server also. You can create and you can install and you can build a Kubernetes cluster and you can create a pods. Am I right? So today I'm going to explain about the concept of, okay, how to create a pod with the help of manifest file. So normally in the Docker container, okay, especially in the Docker container, we are creating the Docker engines we are using in the base platform. On the top base platform, we are going to create a Docker by using the Docker file, by using the Docker file. So now with the help of the Docker file, we are creating the Docker container and we can run the application inside the Docker container. So example, you can see the Docker architecture. Okay, you can see the Docker architecture diagram. Once you see this, you're able to understand clearly what is a Docker is. You can see this, the image. This is a Docker host. The Docker host means, okay, Docker host means to create the containers, the base platform is called Docker host. So by using the Docker demand services, it will communicate with the client and registry. So client is nothing but a DevOps engineer or a Kubernetes engineer or a Docker engineer will be managing the Docker host to managing the containers and images. So by using the commandlets. So the commandlets like a Docker build, Docker pull, Docker run, few commands are there. Those commands they'll use to manage the Docker host of the Docker's containers. So in the Docker container, the image will be running. The image is nothing but the operating system, the base operating system, very minute operating system. We called as Alpine and other operating system models are there like Linux, Ubuntu, the other operating systems also there. With the help of the small, minute and micro operating system, we are running application. It consumes a very less space on the Docker host server. So the main Docker host server, it hosts the multiple containers to run multiple applications. This is a concept of Docker containerization. Okay. Now, this complete Docker host is single. Okay, that's fine. If you have a multiple Docker host that we can manage it. If you have a huge amount of Docker host, if you are managing in your environment, the multiple Docker containers also is there. To managing the multiple Docker containers is very tough job. Okay, so guys, let's think about there is a VMware company is there. You know VMware? What is a VMware actually? Anyone can tell me what is a VMware? It is a company who provide hypervisor products. Okay. So if you check that VMware architecture diagram, it is similar to, it is similar to, okay, it is similar to your, your Docker container. See, VMware ESXi is a separate server which is on the physical server and creating the virtual machines. So even your Docker host also equals to VMware ESX server to create a multiple containers equals to virtual machines, virtual machines. So do you know the containerization concept is next generation of the next generation model of virtualization technology. Understand? Are you clear? So containerization is a technology, is a next generation of virtual machine technology, virtualization technology or hypervisor technology. So if you have a multiple ESX servers to manage is very difficult to managing the virtual machines in real-time environment. But even though all virtual machines are stored in the shared storage, but individual management of ESX servers to managing the virtual machines as a VMware engineer, it's a very tough job. So basically there is a vSphere client is there as a VMware administrator managing these virtual machines from the ESXi. We are using the vSphere client. So altogether, if you have a more than one ESXi in your real-time environment, management is very difficult. That's why VMware has introduced the service name called vCenter Server. So now coming here, if you have a huge number of containers, if example, you have a huge number of containers to managing in the real-time environment, Kubernetes is required. Understand? Are you clear? Why Kubernetes is required? So now can tell me in this diagram, so where is your container is running? Where is your container is running? Anybody can tell me? Your container is running on master node or worker node? My question is very simple. Our Docker containers are running in, okay, in master node or worker node? That is my question. Sashi, can you please tell me?
Master node.
బాగా ఆలోచించి చెప్పండి. ఇక్కడ రన్ అవుతున్న కంటైనర్ హోస్ట్ సర్వీసెస్, డాకర్ హోస్ట్ సర్వీస్ అనేది ఓకేనా, ఇక్కడ మాస్టర్ నోడ్ లో రన్ అవుతుందా లేకపోతే వర్కర్ నోడ్ లో రన్ అవుతుందా?
Worker node.
Worker node. So it's called pod. So here is a pod is nothing but here is a container. Okay, see Docker container runtime Docker. So the pods are running. So pod is nothing but it's a group of applications, group of container services, group of Dockers. Understand? So what is the use of master node? So master node is what is this? It is a Docker orchestration service. Docker orchestration service. It is a Kubernetes. It is. You can see this diagram. You can easily understand this. You can easily understand this diagram. So there's a worker node and this is a master node. This is a master node is a Kubernetes server and these are the worker node. It maintains the pod. So pod is nothing but it is a Docker. So inside the Docker host, okay, inside the Docker, multiple applications are running. N number of nodes can easily managing with the Docker orchestration service, which is called Kubernetes service. So are you understand the Docker orchestration service is equals to vCenter server in VMware environment? That you need to understand. Okay, so just for your understanding purpose, I'm explaining this concept. Coming back. So how these containers are creating. So nowadays we're creating these containers. That means pods, especially in the terminology of Kubernetes, we're creating the pods by using the manifest file. Kubernetes manifest file is there. In the manifest file, we need to create the manifest file. Okay, how you need to write that you need to understand. So today I'm going to help you to understand how to create manifest file from the scratch. Are you clear? So if you are without a Docker, without a Kubernetes, if you are creating the Docker containers that you can use by Docker file. So now we are not using Docker file to create a Docker pod. Okay, that means Kubernetes pods. We are going to use a manifest file. So even one more technology also is there, package manager by using the Helm. Helm is a package manager for Kubernetes. Even there's another method also is there. Going forward, we will learn that what is a Helm package manager in the Kubernetes services. So today the concept is how to create a manifest file. How to create a manifest file. So when we are creating manifest file, okay, when we are creating manifest file, so what are the main concept, main important topics we are going to discuss here? Okay, the main important topic is point number one, components, component in manifest file. So what is the components in, okay, what are the objects or components in manifest file? That we need to understand. So let's go here. So there are multiple objects in Kubernetes manifest file. Like that, we have pod, service, daemon, set, deployment, replica, set, replication, controller. So these are the main components is available in the manifest file. So how to create manifest file? How to create a manifest file? So that means what is the purpose of you creating manifest file? What is the purpose of you creating manifest file? To create the purpose of manifest file is to create a pod. Okay, create a pod. So how to create a pod? So the command is kubectl run. Suppose any services like Nginx, pod hyphen hyphen image equals to Nginx space hyphen hyphen. This application is running on which port number? The port number we can declare. So this is the command. We can run the pod to create a inside that application, and port will be binding to run the application. So these are the main. So in this particular command, so each and every command, it has some kind of, okay, some important justification is needed. So kubectl, you already have seen in the first class of the Kubernetes services. It's a main command and controller services. We are managing the services inside the Kubernetes services, the main configuration unit. With that command only, everything we can create or maybe you can destroy. So now here kubectl command we are using to run. Okay, we are using to run. So here run is nothing but is kind of object. It's a kind of object. Okay. So what is a kind of object means? Here it is a pod. So that means it's telling that, hey, this is a pod we are going to create. That is the meaning of run, the commandlet we are using in this particular syntax. So run is nothing but it's a kind of object. It's a kind of object run. Now the next one, Nginx pod is there. So Nginx pod is nothing but it is a object name. It is object name. So whatever the object you're creating, the object name we are declaring here. We are creating a number of pods, no matter what. The pod has some object. The pod is object. The object we are representing with some name. That is called object name. The next concept is image equals to Nginx. This is called image name. Image equal to name. Nginx is a name, so that means it is an image name. So basically, this Nginx image will be coming from hub.docker.com. This is coming from the internet. So guys, if you go to hub.docker.com website, okay, hub.docker.com website, this website is a public repository of Docker services. If you check this, if you select this Nginx, we're getting here, click open. So this is a name Nginx. It will be representing here from this particular command. So Nginx. When we are calling that Nginx, so by default, it will go and it will take this request. So that means Docker pull Nginx. That means the latest version of Docker Nginx will be downloaded and creating on your system. So Nginx is a service. So in that service, the latest version it will take it. Suppose if you are maybe older versions if you need it. So there is a multiple older versions names are showing here, the older versions. The versions name after that, if you're giving that Nginx, the particular version it will get pulled from the hub.docker.com. Hub.docker.com. See guys, here also it will be clearly mentioned that image equals to Nginx. Now finally, the port, the application where it is running and which port number, which path. So that's the port number we are providing here. Where application it tells that, hey, I'm running on this port number. It will give you by a vendor or maybe who a developer who develop the application. They will give an idea about application is running on which port number. So finally, these all the command, the entire command, object type, object name, object component and status, it will create the pod in the environment. So finally, if you want additionally, you can give the versions to create object also because of uh, different applications we are deploying on the environment. We need a versions also for representing whether it's the old application or new application. Coming to the Google, check that Kubernetes API documentation. If you click this, you'll get some kind of references documents are available. You can check this. Click on references. So here references will be there. You can take this reference guide and you can create yourself. So one page API references for Kubernetes, that's a version is 1.27 is there. If you can open this, the clear-cut information about the Kubernetes API configurations and the new information they will be declaring that read, delete, create, all these informations they'll be provided here. So how to create a containers by using the word name called kind. So kind is nothing but it's a pod or container, whatever the purpose we are creating it, that will give you an information. So group is the name of the service. Version is a model of the application. Kind is representing who you are. So you are a container, maybe you are a service, you are a pod, like that. So now we are going to create a pod, right? So kind equals to pod, we are going to declare. Okay. So when you creating the pod, okay, when you creating the pod, so mainly, okay, what are the main information you will be note down? Like a kind. So kind is equal to pod. So pod will be declaring that. Inside the pod, metadata will be there. So the complete detailed information about that pod services. And if you have any specifications is required, you can give the specifications. And finally, app version. Just give me a minute. Hello. I'm back. So we understand, right? So kind is representing the pod and metadata, the specification, sorry, the complete detailed information about files, specifications, which is nothing but what are the specification about that particular pod. And finally, we have a application version. So we are representing. So with this, we are going to create a pod now. So that is called manifest file. So we are going to create a manifest file. So in the manifest file, I'll directly writing here without wasting our time. Okay, so that we can uh, build our enrollment. To run this particular services, okay, to run this particular services, I need a Kubernetes services. Without Kubernetes services, we're not able to run this environment. So I'm directly pinging this some link on the chat. Okay, so whoever presenting now screen. So do not practice on the your office laptop, only personal laptop. Okay. So can you please open this link and we can start working now. Let me stop my screen share. ఎవరు స్క్రీన్ షేర్ చేస్తున్నారు ఇప్పుడు ఫాస్ట్ రైట్ సో దట్స్ ఫైన్ ఓపెన్ దట్ లింక్ so now to install this mini cube services so at least a minimum 2 CPUs is required 2 GB RAM is required 20 GB free disk space is required internet connection is required and the container and virtual machines such as a Docker, QEMU, Hyperlinks, Parallel, VirtualBox, VMware, anywhere you can install it. Okay, so no problem. So we are directly installing on your laptop. Are you okay? So then little bit scroll down, little bit scroll down. Based on your operating system, the file will be get suggested. So now you are using Windows machine 64-bit and the release is a stable release and the exe will be directly downloading. Our Windows package manager is available. So now you can click on the exe download. The installer type is exe download. Just click on that. Scroll down. Okay, do one thing. You can copy the particular below command. The below command is there. You can please copy that entire command. Select, select Control A, select Control A. Yeah. And go to PowerShell. So go to run PowerShell. Directly you can type PowerShell without space. PowerShell. Enter. And you can just right click and paste it. Good. Good. Please wait. Don't do anything. Please wait. Actually, there's a minikube.exe file is creating on the C drive. Okay, in your system minikube folder. Okay, so after some time, so please wait, don't click anything until my instructions are very straightforward. We are creating a small Kubernetes service. Okay, for practice purpose, we are creating a small Kubernetes services. We are presenting here. Even online also free tools also available. So Kubernetes engines are available. Let me check and I'll give you which one is the best for you for practice purpose. Don't click enter. Okay, so please wait. In case if this is not working, so we can directly download the latest file and install it from the graphical user. I think it's done. Okay. Then we can go to the second command. Go to the web article. And second command is there. You can copy that. Select, copy, and we can paste it there. And your PowerShell should be run in the administrator. Okay, let's run it. We can see this. Uh, do one thing. Go to start. Go to start. Just type power. Just directly you can type power. Okay, there's a PowerShell is there, right? The first one. There is a after that is a arrow mark. Click on that. Click on that. Run as administrator. Yeah. Hmm. Click that. So now you can paste the command here. Enter. Okay, I think it's already run. It's already run. Now can go ahead. The article. Now can run the command is minikube start. Start the cluster. Start the cluster. The command is minikube start. The term cube is not recognizing the commanded function operations program. Oh. Okay, 1 minute. I can find out some article. Minikube status. You can run the command minikube status. Minikube status. So go to C drive from the file explorer. C drive. Minikube. Minikube. There is a folder name is Minikube. Okay. Just copy the path. Just copy the path, the C drive path, and go to PowerShell. You have that um, GitHub Git bash terminal, right? Git bash terminal. Yeah. Right click here. Right click. No. In the same location. In the same location. Here you can right click, open Git bash here. In the white space, a white background లో రైట్ క్లిక్ చేసినారంటే మీకు గిట్ బ్యాష్ షేర్ అని ఉంటుంది. క్లిక్ చేయండి. Perfect. Now can type a mini cube status. Can you please run the command mini cube start? Okay. Maximize the window, please. Now we are starting the minikube services. Okay. Now can run the command minikube status. File minikube not found. Minikube profile. List to view all the profile. Can you please run the command minikube profile list? Again, you can run the minikube start. Unable to pick the driver, here is what the concerner preferred.
పాత్ ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ వేరియబుల్ పాత్ అని సెట్ చేయాలండి దీనికి.
Okay, let's see. We can set the environment variable path. Go to environment variable.
ఆల్రెడీ ఉందండి ఇక్కడ.
One minute,
ఇక్కడ ఆల్రెడీ ఉంది మినీ క్యూబ్.
సరే ఓ పని చేస్తాను. వేరే సర్వర్ ఒకటి తీసుకొస్తాను రేపు. సో అది హైపర్-వి ఇన్స్టాల్ చేయమని అడుగుతుంది. ఓకేనా? హైపర్-వి సర్వీస్ ఉంది కదా. సో దర్ ఇస్ అ వర్చువలైజేషన్ సర్వీస్. సో that service is asking to run in the behind it. Okay. I will prepare one system and I will do it tomorrow. Okay.
Okay, Raj.
Yeah, right. So let me finish how to create manifest file that I will show you. Then we'll finish it. So how to create a manifest file? So first we will give the name manifest file. So that should be in AML format. Okay, whatever the name you're giving, AML format. And you can provide the first one is a API version. So the first letter is always small, don't give any capital letter. And the second word you can starting with the V. So here API version is a two different words. So that way second word is a capital API version. And you can give space and you can give what is the value of key value pair, right? So here the value also you should be starts with the capital, but the version you can give small also. Example version 1. Next one is a kind. So which is called odd. So when you're giving the value of the kind, the service name, the what are the main configuration item in the Kubernetes services, you can give the capital letters. Pod. P is a capital one. Next one is a metadata. So metadata is a single word. It's a small only. Don't give any capital letter. In the metadata, so the detailed information about the project, you can give that. So indentation is must. Give the two space. After that, you can give the name. And what is the name of the pod? Nginx pod is the name of the pod. And next, specifications. We are giving that inside that containers you are creating, not a single one or maybe multiple one. So we can give containers. So each container will be representing with the image. So what are the images you are giving that? Nginx. Again, this image name we are going to declare. That is called Nginx. Hyphen, whatever the name you can give that. Okay, so project 1. Okay, project project one, or maybe some name you can give that. After that, if this application is running on any ports, we can give ports, not a single port. Maybe sometimes it's running on multiple ports. Again, inside that, we can give the ports details. The container port we can declare container port. Okay. So in the container port, we are giving the name. Chapana. So now finally we created this file. So once we are creating this file and we can run the command with the kubectl, and this complete the settings, it will get create the pod. So now the manifest file is ready. Now tomorrow in the next session, we will be creating the environment, and we can create the pod. So like this, multiple pods we can create by using the Kubernetes services with the help of manifest file. Understand? Any other question? No questions? Thank you. So we'll continue in the next session tomorrow. Thank you all. Already is in some